Hi guys, welcome to PECY, where we will talk about ESL material design. And today I will talk about an example of lesson planning. How did I spontaneously plan a lesson? Let's go. So this is a demo lesson and I have to plan it from a preset objectives given by the recruitment council of a school in Hanoi. And here they are. As you can see here, if I expect most of the audience is from Vietnam. Most of the audience is from Vietnam. And this is objectives, actually. We got it here. These are the objectives. And you can see that we have 5 of them. And I'm going to show you the process I go from the objectives to what I have here, the final lesson planning. Okay. So here's how it goes. I'm going to list out the objectives. I'm sorry, the writing is not so good. We have number 1, we understand. That's animal live in different places, different environments. Okay, and number 2 gonna be identify at least 3 ways. Identify at least 3 ways that animal use to live or to survive, actually. And the next one gonna be, for example, have fur, disguise, and migrate. And the next one gonna be, I'm gonna make it have larger space so that we can analyze for the process later. The third one is at least 3 target vocabulary or words from the reading in the speaking activity, and next one gonna be the fourth one is retail. I believe I use the word retail is correct. Retail. The main idea of the reading that seemed to be too much of the reading. And the next one, the last one, is talk about your favorite. Talk about your favorite animals and describe the way it survived in its environment and the ways it survived. All right, so here is the objectives of the lesson. I hope that I can draw a straight line here. And looking at the objectives, I will looking at the objectives, I expect to highlight the words understand, identified, use, retell, and talk about. Actually, the fourth one is like a summarizing skill, actually. Mm-mm. Oh, here, the first one actually is look like the summarizing skill. Oh, okay. And okay, here the pen, I would use different pen. And now let's go to the process of planning the lesson here, because I can uh, because I can identify the keyword and understand, identify, use, retell, and summarizing skill and talk. I will look at the lesson planning under the cognitive perspective, which means every activity can be solvable under the science of cognition, right? I cannot say too much because I'm not professionals. I'm not a professional at cognitive science. I just say what I understand, okay? So because this is understand, so I think that first we're gonna have some analyze actually. Mm, So instead of saying this is the process, I'm gonna analyze first. I want to use this pen. Simple 5 minutes. So let's analyze. Um, Here, looking at throughout the 5 objectives, here there are 5 objectives. I think, and the students is grade 1, as you can see here. Grade 1 actually, and I believe the level, grade 1 actually, and I believe the level can only, I consider the highest level only be a 2 flyer if they are a good school, okay? And but for the 5 objectives, I think the objectives can be too much in a lesson. Just about the timing here is just 1 hour, 1 hour, and we have a text to read. So I think too much for grade 1 student in 1 hour. That's gonna be too much, and I don't see that I may fail the lesson because of this. All right. So, but the mail was sent, and I had to make the lesson. I had to make the lesson. I'm sorry. So that is the bad side. The good one is that I can identify the key term here is the relationship between the environment and the animal feature, the feature of the animal. Or here, the better way to say the ways animals survive, actually. Environment and ways that animals survive. survive. So with that understanding, I know that the cognitive process should be like this. Process should follow this order. Number one, understand the concept, which means the relationship between the environment and the ways that animals survive. And when they can understand, the next objective will be identified. It seems that they are giving me the objective in the correct order. Identify three ways that animals survive or something. And the next one gonna be use a target words, retell the story. Because we have a text to read, so I think we have to learn some words before we can use it, right? We learn some words and try to memorize. For learn some word, we try to memorize the words and understand them. I'm using the terms of cognitive science, and when you can learn it, we can retell the story using the word, the text. Okay, it seems strange to me to say the word retell with a text. Normally we use retell with a story, right? But that's not something we have to deal with at the moment. And lastly, when they have everything they need, the last one, they will understand. No, I'm sorry. Talk about. Finally, they will talk about their favorite animal. And actually, in cognitive science or cognitive psychology, they use it as the apply process. Okay, so we have memorize, we have understand, we have apply. Retell here also mean apply the language they have learned, and identify is recognize skills. I think this should be understand. And retell or analyze, actually. I don't think this is understand. I think it is analyze, because they have to know which environment, which ways or which characteristic of the animals will go with which environment. Memorize. And this, I believe, is analyze. And the first one, we understand. So we've done everything. When I have very clear map of the cognitive process student will go through in this lesson, I'm very confident to design the activities and the materials for the lesson. So let's go to the design process. Which color should I use? The process, because we will understand first. I think I will move a little bit down there and write a process here. So first they have to understand the relationship. So in the warm up, I can get them directly understand this relationship to catch up the main idea of the lesson. because we only have 1 hour for this, so the faster we do it, the better. How can I do that? Because I clearly have the goal here, so I can easily design the ways to achieve the goal. It's very clear, right? So, by the way, we people say, "Oh no." Normally, the best way to achieve the goal is to make it clear. So in the warm up, I can show the picture. Here, I show a picture of an environment, and I can ask them for the feature of the environment, including where it is and how's the weather, the weather, how's the weather, and they're gonna and then I'm gonna give them choice of two animals, A and B, for example, with different features, the same animals, but with different feature, right? And they had to choose between A or B. For example, here, I show them that I have a picture of leafy green tree branches, and the weather is very hot here. And here I have the two picture of two chameleons. One has green skin, and the other might be yellow and orange. And they have to decide to choose which one will live in this place, right? And they will have to, and with this in mind, I think they will have what the thinking process will be. They will have to choose, identify the similarity between the environment, the similarity between the environment. Oh, between the environment and the animal. And clearly they will choose it. And that is the first time they make the connection between the environment and the animals. And to make it for sure, I can give the second example to let them to practice making that connection again. And for this one, they can choose B. And the last one, when they have done, I will ask a question for them to make the conclusion that yes, there is a connection between the environment and the animals. And that is where I actually, this is a lead in. I'm sorry, this is not the warm up activity. This is lead in. Okay. Number one, this is lead in. Because we don't have time for the warm up. So number two, what they have to do is they have to, I think they have to, the second one here, identify three ways. Because they have to read a text. So I think the correct order should be, we will pre-teach some words in the text. And here we have the text here. They give us this text to read. I will paste it down. This is the text to read. As you can see here, this is a lesson for grade 1, but a lot of the vocabulary is at B2, even C1 level. And I don't get it. Why did they give me a text like this for teaching grade 1 student? And here I would choose 5 words to 5 blocking words to pre-teach before we dive into reading. Here they are. We have behavior, survive, IC, blend in, and migration. Um, so the way I do it is, the way I pre-teach is just by showing the picture, and ask some CCQ lesson, concept checking lesson, uh, for them to answer. I believe this is too much for grade 1 student, really. We have 5 of them. So for this one, it is, what do you see? I asked them and I see this is the beach. Yeah, the beach, but where's the man? None of them can say island. And then what is the man doing? He's making fire, right? To cook food. They can answer it actually, and I lead into he's trying to leave, but not in an easy way. That he goes survive. This is a B2 word. I promised you. And another word. What do you see? No, I will point to the point of view of this cat. Can this cat see this one? No. Why? Because it is blended in, or it looks like the grass. All right, and the meaning of the word is to match to everything that is near or around, and that is called to blend in. That is a phrasal verb. Oh, I make it wrong for the pronunciation. And next one, this one, what's the dog doing? Barking. Why is barking? None can answer. What's the dog doing? It's wagging its tail. None can answer wagging. Why? Because it's happy. Yes. What is it doing? They cannot answer. They are playing with it. Opening its wide mouth really wide. I think this lesson is too much for grade 1 student. And bottom line, the acts that a person or anybody does is called behavior. This is a noun. I'm sorry. It can be this can be countable, uncountable noun. And then I asked a lot of questions to lead into the definition of migration, the moving of animals to a faraway place, usually when the season changes, right? And I think at the end of the teaching vocabulary, I will show up the picture to check their memory, and they can do it really well. Wow, I think that is the first success in the lesson, that they can say the word, although the words are so hard for them to remember the way it is pronounced, the way they are pronounced, but they did it, and that really amazed me. And that's it. All right, we have 5 words, and then we have some meaning checked exercise. I believe this is closed text. Choose a word to fill in the sentence, and they did it too. Some of them did it really. This is also it was something that also amazed me too. They did it, not just one student, several ones in 20 among 21s. Amazing. That is an amazing one. That is the first success of the lesson. And then when I done the pre-teach, I will move on to the reading, because these are 5 words that may block their understanding of the text. So I will try to move on. 5 blocking. Words. And number 3, I believe we're gonna read the text, but this is not normal reading. This text is not too long, but the vocabulary is really challenging for them. We still need to have enough steps for reading text, including pre-read, and for the pre-read, I have them to pop read it for the fluency, reading fluency, and because if normally for reading, they will have to read it prior before we understand. So it's so much better that they can spend time reading it at home. But I expect no. So we have fluency reading, C reading, and then I will ask them to part reading, which means I read a sentence and I point it at another student. He or she will read it, would read it, and the same process repeated over and over again until they've done the reading. So when we've done the fluency, we will scan the text for the main idea. This is called read the text. Maybe I will ask them to spot 5 words we have learned so far in the text, so to get them familiar with the text. And here they are. And the next one, I will let them do the handout. And this is a handout. This is the reading handout. And test one mostly, actually, I think that I have missed the pre-text part here. I have it here, but I let them do it in the handout, and this is totally not easy. The question is, the text is about, we have 5 texts here. Task 1 is mostly answering questions that you can use technique like scanning, scheming, and here, scanning, scheming, what else? I think that's all to identify the main idea and the details. And here are they. Number 1, the text is about. This is too hard for them because they haven't learned the skill of scheming or scanning for the main idea. Too hard for them. Number 2, there are details question. Now, for this question, you have to count the animal, and they can't do it. Number 1, they did it well. Most of them got the correct answer. But for number 2, I have to instruct them a lot. That I have to tell them to count the number of animals they see in the text. Number 3, details question. And this, at first, I think this is not easy question, but they did it really well. I just need to point them. I just need to ask them some question. Where do polar bears live? And they can quickly choose B. And number 4, smart changes that animals make to survive are called. This is too hard for them, I promise you. But when I point to the text that have the keyword of the question, they did it. Adaptations. For this question, they are only half the class did it, really. And next one is the application we talked earlier. So this is a pre-read, and as you can see here, pre-read and why reading. So I didn't have the pre-read. Poor me. Poor read can be identifying the words, but I didn't have it. Failed it. Pre-read should be, let's count the number of animals together, right, etc. And why read, I did have the handout for them to work in pairs. I did it. And post reading, no, we haven't done it, because we had to come to number 4. while reading, we're still reading. Task 2, we're still in reading. We do task 1 and task 2. Task 2 is to achieve the lesson objectives. The lesson objective is to identify three ways that animals survive. Right? And task 1 is simply for reading comprehension. I think that I should put some of the question here into the pre-reading and erase some details question. I shouldn't have this one, really. And for that lesson, we have time to come to this table to do number 1 and 2, but we don't have enough time to, we didn't have enough time to do the rest. 5, 3, 4, and 5. We didn't have time. We end the lesson without achieving all the objectives for me. And number 4 gonna be when we identify 3 ways. Here they are. If you read the text, it's very easy. Change color to hide, change color in different seasons, Arctic fox, and birds fly away in winter. So when we ideally, if the student can finish this and move on to the next one, let's see, the next cognitive process is retell the text, which means summarizing skill. I believe this is a post-reading activity. Nice. Okay, I believe this is a post-reading activity. Which means we will summarize the text and speak it. Because clearly that student in grade 1 haven't learned summarizing skills, so I gave them a guided scaffolding exercise and guided practice exercise. And I'm sorry, here's how I did it. I will ask them to not look at the text, but use the words to make true sentences about the text. I believe this is a more simpler version of summarizing, right? And this is shorter and easier for them to do. So I have different places. Here I have, most of them are the keywords and the blocking word which we have pre-teach, and also the keyword of the text. So with this exercise, and I both achieve 2 objectives. Number 1 is for them to summarize, and number 2 is for them to use the word. Oh, what is it? So I achieve both 2 objectives. Use the word. And lastly, number 5 is this activity. Number 5, talk about the favorite animal. Of course, this is a freer practice. This is a free practice of speaking practice. Actually, we will speak. This is a high level of learning, which apply many words. Many things we have learned this lesson, including the understanding of the environment and the animal, the words, the memory of the words, and the speaking skill. But I still have to, for this one, I still have to provide them with some guided practice. And here's how. It's a little bit hard for me to use this one. And what is that practice here? I'm going to show you. I will ask them to, I will give them the outline for them to brainstorm. The outline have 5 key ideas. Number 1, for them to say the animal, his and her favorite animal. And number 2, the reason why they like it. Number 3, the place, very important, the place it lives. For them to um, speak of the environment that the animal live. And number 4, they will describe maybe at least one feature of the animal because of that, to adapt and to survive in that place. And number 5 gonna be another maybe supporting idea or an extra idea for them to talk about ways they survive in the environment. So they can complete number 4 only or complete both 4 and 5. Here I use when because I will talk about the season when the weather change, what will they do. For example, for some animals they will hibernate, for the others they will migrate, for example. But I believe these scientific knowledge is too much for grade 1 student, too much for them to achieve in 1 hour. So I believe this is the end lesson. To wrap up, I can only achieve, let's say I achieve pretty vocabulary, I achieve for them to, I let them understand the relationship between environment and animals. But I didn't achieve speaking activity, summarizing. I didn't achieve summarizing, speaking. So here, let's come back to this and have the check. At the end of the lesson that day, I let them understand. They understand the relationship. They identify 3 ways. I think, no, they haven't achieved it. Usually 3 target words in the speaking activity. No, they haven't speak yet. Retell the main idea? No. Talk about your favorite animal? No. Oh my goodness, I can only achieve number 1. See, you see, this is a failed lesson. So we've gone through the process of going from the objectives to the analyze process to the, I think this is execution process. And this is my approach to lesson planning. I use cognitive understanding to analyze the objectives under the terms of cognition, and then I designed the lesson afterwards, including the activities and the material and the process of instruction. So I hope to listen from the comments to have improvement in the future on lesson planning skill. And this is the end of the lesson. Hope to see you next time.